So the thing about the Supreme Court is that once you make it there, you are there for life, unless you choose to retire or you pass away, or you decide that you would rather become a U.S. ambassador to the United Nations. That is what happened in 1965 when President Lyndon B. Johnson convinced then Supreme Court Associate Justice Arthur Goldberg to quit the Supreme Court and become the U.S. ambassador to the UN. LBJ did that because he wanted this guy, Abe Fortas, to be on the Supreme Court instead. Fortas was an old friend of Lyndon Johnson's, but it was not until he tried to elevate him to Chief Justice in 1968 that the Senate learned about just how close their relationship was. As the U.S. Senate History website notes, quote, as a sitting justice, he regularly attended White House staff meetings. He briefed the president on secret court deliberations. And on behalf of the president, he pressured senators who opposed the war in Vietnam. And that closeness with the president is not even the scandal that ultimately led to Fortas's resignation from the Supreme Court. There's a reason that our founders wanted distance between Supreme Court justices and the president. They never wanted a person sitting on the court feeling like they had any obligations to the president who appointed them. But now, in the current nominee, we may not just have the sense of obligation, but also the sense that the nominee is an open, admitted partisan of the president and his political party.
This whole 2-week effort has been a calculated and orchestrated political hit, fueled with apparent pent-up anger about President Trump and the 2016 election, fear that has been unfairly stoked about my judicial record, revenge on behalf of the Clintons, and millions of dollars in money from outside left-wing opposition groups. This is a circus.
Pent-up anger at the 2016 election, revenge on behalf of the Clintons, left-wing opposition groups. That sounds like Donald Trump talking, not a guy trying to become a just call the balls and strikes Supreme Court justice. Now, no one is naive enough to believe that presidents don't very often nominate people aligned with their own political party or ideology to positions on the courts. But Brett Kavanaugh is unique in that whereas most nominees, and even Kavanaugh himself in the first round of his nomination, present themselves as fair-minded, open-minded, nonpartisan umpires who just follow the law, Kavanaugh is attempting to salvage his nomination by dropping that pretense and being as openly partisan as Democrats already suspected he is, showing that he is willing to fight the Clinton culture wars from the bench, that he's willing to align himself openly with Donald Trump in style and in substance. Which begs the question, does that jeopardize his ability to remain in the job that he has now as a federal judge, let alone get a promotion to the Supreme Court? Because there is a constitutional option that applies to judges just like it applies to presidents. It's called impeachment. More on that next.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.